the way we're going to probably handle it is the way we've been, is the redacting. We're not going to seal any type of fraud. As most of you know, that's a federal offense as well as supposedly in New Jersey, but they don't follow their own laws. But in New Jersey, there's a law to not seal fraud. And then there's also one, the US 18-1017 for the district court. So in our case, we're probably 9 times out of 10 just going to redact. We did that in other district courts. If somebody, one of the parties don't want their name out there, that's fine. We'll redact it. Y'all smart enough to know who it is, and then you'll just go from there, right? But if me and Ramir, his mother, and other parties of interest will not be redacting our name because we're fine. We don't have nothing to hide. So this is what I wanted to say about that. So okay. Um, yeah, I believe that everything that's happening for me is an opportunity to tell the truth. It's an opportunity for me to let you guys know what is going on. And as I said, what was going on, basically in a nutshell, is that Mr. Carter in New Jersey requested a few things. The main things he requested was a modification of an order. He requested a venue change. If he requested sanctions or supposedly violation of an order that don't even exist. But that's okay. So that's the three things, the major things. When he went to California, he didn't tell them that. I told him that, but he didn't tell him that. So he walked back. He said, "Oh, I'm only thing I'm trying to do is get my money for sanctions because she violated orders." And I told the judge in my paperwork, and you'll see it out there in a nutshell, that this is the same type of predatory type fraud that was done before. And there was no violation of a sanction, especially when fraud occurred. And even if you did have a protective order and you don't, nothing happened. You have no proof. You have just lies. That's why they want the case sealed. That's why they want it sealed. They want to seal lies. We are not going to pay for sanctions. We are not going to pay for fraud. Paying for sanctions is paying for fraud. It'll never happen. The way it was done before is they stole it from my property, which is why I am in looking, having the government help me with that. And they're going to help me. It's just taking a while, and now the government is closed. But at the end of the day, it's going to happen. I filed a police report when it was done before. If somebody tries to sanction me for an order that was based on fraud, for actions that never occurred, and you making this up because you can, another police report will be filed. So at the end of the day, the sanction part of this whole mess, it's fine. It's no big deal because you're sanctioning somebody off of nothing, and you're sanctioning somebody off of lies, and there's no truth to it. So I don't need to be concerned about that at all. Because and when it's all said and done, when we have a public hearing about something, because I still got a property in New Jersey, try to put it on my property. Just do it. Because we're gonna have a public hearing this time. But at the end of the day, I don't worry about all this stuff. We as believers have to trust God. God is not somewhere scratching his head trying to figure out what happened. He knew exactly what was going to happen. I'm God's child. Some of you guys are God's children. It's all good, right? All things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. That is a fact, everybody. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about not worrying about what actually happened. And I want to thank the judge for doing her best. She did her best, I believe. I think she did. I don't think, I mean, you always want the case to go in your favor. But she's saying it doesn't rise to a level for a temporary restraining order because of what Mr. Carter told him. Out of his 183 pages and 18 pages he gave her, he said he's only going to do what he said in terms of sanctions. Now, again, if he tries to do something else, that would be fraud that he told the judge in California. Just saying. So I think we're all good. And nobody's going to ever pay for sanctions for fraud. You have all your stuff is built in a lie. You can say all what you want to say. Mr. Winters already made the case or told people that he paid for the orders. He said it out loud. Other people heard it. We got statements from those people back then, and things are moving the way it's supposed to. So at the end of the day, I'm not even concerned. Even if he didn't say it, he paid good money for these orders. Somebody did something because the law was not done. So we have to carry out what we're trying to carry out the law. to make sure the rule of law works. And my mama told me, yeah, she told me the law is designed to work. Just follow it. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. So I want everybody to be encouraged. Don't be sad about no ruling. And only one report came out with somebody saying something about what they're saying. First, they're trying to say it is about fraternity. It's not. And then they're trying to say other things. So think about it, everybody. Why is this not being talked about so much? Why? Because it's pretty much a defamation to my character. You're lying and saying I did something that I didn't, and you can't prove it. So what you try to do is you go behind a sealed record to try to do something because people have an invested interest, and you think I'm just going to let it happen? No. So at the end of the day, do what you got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. So there's no going to be, I see this as defamation, and I see this as harassment. I do. And I'm going to look and see what else other reports out, and I'm going to print them out because you're not going to do anything you want. It's just not going to happen. Right? So I think it being in California, I think for me, it worked out. Even though I would wish it had changed, I'm fine with the judge and respect the law, that if it didn't rise to the level of that, that's fine. And as I already explained, I didn't know about ex parte being you had to have a motion for leave to reply, because at the time I was going to submit the defendant's New Jersey information on the reply. I was. And I didn't realize that you couldn't do it because of you had to do a motion for leave. The defendant submitted something, 18 pages. And the defendant asked me, the attorney, not to submit the whole package. So I obliged to that. But at the end of the day, it's all good, everybody, because at the end of the day, I don't really care one way or another, because I don't think that even if she saw the whole package, she would have saw what he was trying to do. She might have, whatever. But the good thing about it is that the package exists. And if he tries to do something more than that in November, on November 7th, then I can go back to the California judge and say, look, he told you one thing, he did another. And basically what he told you was fraudulent. Because here's the real whole package. And basically, everybody, you got a certain amount of time to appeal things, to dispute things, especially when it's fraud. When it's fraud, there's no limitation. Whenever somebody does fraud, you can come back. So if you did fraud by telling the California judge one thing and you do another, then that's going to be fraud. And as far as sanctions, nobody's paying for sanctions. Nobody pays for fraud. And no order was violated, even if it was true. There was one order that said the public cannot get the files and the public cannot be in a courtroom. It said nothing about the parties. But even if it did, and it didn't, nobody gave out no files. The reason why we didn't give out any files, because the files are already out there. The attorneys, as we already told you, and we're going to keep saying it, the attorneys in 2012 exchanged the files in the two different jurisdictions because the child was transferring from one place to the next. So the files had to be switched or intertwined, they call it, right? So that happened in 2012. And like I told you before, 2013, a college student got the civil law case from a Camden County court, Superior Court supervisor, because he was looking for to do a paper. He knew Ramir, blah, blah, blah. And she gave it to him because the papers were going to be destroyed. And they were just, I guess, sitting there. I don't know how their protocol is. They never sent the papers back to me. They kept them. And then right after that, there's been a whole lot of slew of parties of interest who have filed different actions. The attorney in Philadelphia, I think his name is James Rocco. He did something in 2018. He put that apart, all the documents of the up until that point, mainly the fraud stuff he did. In 2018, he did that. He placed that in record. And then 2018, another party of interest filed something against them judges in their town. There's a lot of stuff out there. So at the end of the day, all you got to do is go get that stuff. So the record is pretty much sealed, and not sealed, but the record is preserved. So we're good on that. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to talk to you guys. Don't worry, everybody. Let me make sure I got everything I needed to do. opportunity to tell the truth. Like we already said, a police report will be filed if necessary. If somebody does do sanctions and things of that nature, the sanctions can't be paid, as I already said, because you don't pay for fraud around here. Not in this country, you don't. If you do fraud from the beginning, just because you talk about somebody sanctioning something later, first of all, there was no gag order, there's no protective order, so I can say and talk with whatever I want. And the only reason why I didn't is because I was protecting my godson. The only thing the judges told us back then, they said, if you have to do any documents or send out documents, make sure you redact the child's name. Now the child has waived that now, so there you go. But if anybody else wants their name waived to try to not get, whatever, then that's fine. It's no big deal. But at the end of the day, the documents are already out there and they're not redacted because in Philadelphia, the case is totally open and for the public. And then there's the superior. Also, Philadelphia is in the family court and a superior court. Yeah, it's really it's no brainer, right? All right, everybody. Love you all. Be encouraged. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Pray and trust God. God don't make mistakes. He don't like ugly, and he loves justice. God loves justice, everybody. So we're going to be all good. And in due time and due season, if we faint not, we're going to reap the harvest. We know that God's going to prevail for us. We're fully confident because the law is on our side. The truth is on our side. And I don't have to worry about making up stuff and telling one story over here and another story over here. It's consistent. Fraud and fraud upon the court and a minor girl. Just pretty much it. All that other stuff, ain't nobody worrying about it. Fraud, fraud, fraud. Not paternity. Fraud, fraud, fraud. Y'all know my song. That's my song, y'all. All right. We'll talk to you soon. This is Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. See y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Be encouraged, everybody.